Look at section 6.2, los objetos indirectos. In Lección 5, you learn that direct object of a sentence receives the action of the verb directly. In contrast, an indirect object receives the action of the verb indirectly. So if we look at the following sentence, Robert lends 100 pesos to Luisa. Direct objects generally answer the question of what. What is being lent to Luisa? 100 pesos, 100 pesos. No? Whereas indirect objects usually answer the question of to whom or for whom is an action being done. To whom are 100 pesos being lent? To Luisa, no, a Luisa. So in that sense, the indirect object answers the question, ¿A quién le presta Roberto 100 pesos? Roberto le presta 100 pesos a Luisa. Just to look really quickly at the indirect object pronouns, they are me, te, le, nos, os, and les. You'll notice that the forms of indirect object pronouns for the first and second persons, me, te, nos, os, are the same as the ones for direct object pronouns. Indirect object pronouns agree in number with the corresponding nouns, but not in gender. As you remember, direct objects can have lo, la, los, las. In that sense, they agree both in gender and plural or number, no. But indirect object pronouns, there's only a singular and a plural, right? No masculine, feminine, anything like that. And also, they go before the conjugated verb, just like direct objects. Por ejemplo, le doy un descuento. Or also could be attached to an infinitive. Acabo de mostrarles que sí sabemos regatear. Just talking about the use of indirect object pronouns, Spanish speakers commonly use both an indirect object pronoun and the noun to which it refers in the same sentence. It could seem a bit redundant to you, but it's actually done to emphasize and to clarify to whom the pronoun refers. If you notice really quickly, we only use the indirect object itself in English. To whom is it being lent? Being lent to Luisa. But in Spanish, they use both the indirect object and its corresponding indirect object pronoun, right? Which we're going to look at very quickly. Por ejemplo, ella le vende la ropa a Elena. In English, we would just have she sells the clothes to Elena. But in Spanish, you must also have the indirect object pronoun that corresponds to the indirect object, matching in number, no? Ella le vende la ropa a Elena. O les prestamos el dinero a Inés y a Alex. A Inés y a Alex corresponds, the word is plural, no? So it corresponds to les. Like, we lend the money to Inés y Alex to them. Sort of redundant in that sense, no? So, indirect object pronouns are also used without the indirect object noun sometimes, especially when the person for whom the action being done is known. So look at these two sentences. Ana le presta la falda a Elena. Ana lends her skirt to Elena. También le presta unos jeans. She also lends her a pair of jeans. In English, lends her. In Spanish, her, she lends. No? And we already know who le is referring to. We understand that it is a Elena because it was just in the previous sentence. So that's a common phenomenon that might happen. A couple common verbs that are used with indirect object pronouns are decir, to say and to tell. Conjugation is digo, dices, dice, decimos, decís, dicen, because you almost always say something to someone, no? And indirect object pronouns answer the question of to whom or for whom, no? For an example sentence, me dices la verdad? Are you telling me the truth? Or in Spanish, to me, are you telling the truth? Sí, te digo la verdad. Yes, to you, I tell the truth. Or yes, I'm telling you the truth. So es muy común, ¿no? Este verbo. También el verbo dar, lo cual significa to give, ¿no? Doy, das, da, damos, dais, dan. Es súper irregular, ¿no? Muy irregular. Por ejemplo, ¿me das $1? Will you give me $1? No, no te doy nada. No, I won't give you anything or nothing, right? As I said, in English, will you give me? But in Spanish, to me, or you give. So sort of a reverse order. It goes right before the conjugated verb, as I said before, and here as well. So now we're going to look at a few of the exercises from your homework. Just looking once again at the indirect object pronouns. This one wants you just to fill it in, and it's nicely giving you all of the people to whom it's referring at the end, so you can figure out which indirect object pronoun should go in the sentence. María prepara un café for us. The indirect object corresponds to us is nos, ¿no? María nos prepara un café. Beatriz y Felipe escriben desde Cuba to me. So you can say Beatriz y Felipe me escriben desde Cuba. They write to me from Cuba. Marta y yo compramos unos guantes for them. For them corresponds to les. Marta y yo les compramos unos guantes. Marta y yo, we buy them unos guantes. Los vendedores, to you familiar singular, no, los vendedores te venden ropa. Te venden ropa. They sell you clothing. La dependienta muestra los guantes to us. La dependienta nos muestra los guantes. Otra actividad. This one wants you to either use el verbo decir or el verbo dar. And I've kindly included the answers in here for you just because it seemed a bit confusing to me and I wanted it to be clear. Los profesores nos dan mucha tarea. One thing you have to be careful of is making sure that you don't misinterpret the verb and the indirect object. The subject of this sentence and the verb that corresponds is los profesores. Professors, they give. Los profesores dan, no, to us. It goes right before the conjugated verb, no. Los profesores nos dan mucha tarea. O yo les doy regalos a mis amigos. To whom do I give gifts? A mis amigos corresponds to les, and I give is doy. Yo les doy regalos a mis amigos. ¿Qué le dicen, to you formal singular here? ¿Qué le dicen sus padres cuando duerme mucho? What do your parents tell you? What do they tell you when you sleep a lot? Comprar ropa me da mucha alegría. Buying clothing gives me lots of happiness. ¿No? ¿Tus amigos te dicen la verdad? Do your friends tell you the truth? ¿Tus amigos te dicen la verdad? Yo te digo que la blusa no hace juego con los pantalones. I tell you that the blouse doesn't go with those pants. ¿No? Juan y Carla nos dan la tarjeta de crédito para ir de compras. Juan y Carla, or ellos, dan. To whom do they give? To us corresponds to nos. Juan y Carla nos dan la tarjeta de crédito para ir de compras. And last one, nosotros le decimos que estudie más. We tell him. To whom do we tell him? No. Nosotros le decimos que estudie más. And the last one here, we're just going to fill these in. Le pido a la profesora los libros de español. If you just look at the word that is after the a la profesora, you'll be able to easily understand which indirect object pronoun we should use. No, le pido a la profesora los libros de español. Amelia nos pregunta a nosotras a dónde queremos ir. She asks us where we want to go. El empleado les busca trabajo a sus primas en el almacén. Julio quiere dar un televisor nuevo a sus padres. Entonces, Julio les quiere dar un televisor nuevo a sus padres. Los clientes nos piden rebajas a nosotros todos los años. Tu hermano no te presta la ropa a ti. A ti, no corresponde a te. No te presta la ropa. La empleada de la tienda le cerró la puerta a mi tía. The store worker closed the door on my aunt. Le cerró la puerta a mi tía. Mi tía being my aunt corresponds to her, ¿no? La mamá no les hace la tarea a sus hijos. My mom doesn't do the homework for her kids. Deben pagar mucho dinero a ti porque llevas ropa muy cara. Te deben pagar mucho dinero a ti. They should pay you. te deben pagar mucho dinero a ti porque llevas ropa muy cara. Las dependientas a mí me traen el vestido rosado a mí. Las dependientes me traen el vestido rosado.